Brought to you by Penguin.
The Ship Asunder by Tom Nancollas. Read by Jonathan Keeble. When he first saw a ship rent asunder, he never beheld one at sea without, in his mind's eye at the same instant, seeing her skeleton. John Ruskin, 1856. Introduction. Navigating by the spire, I skirt my old school with a rumour in my head. From a tradition which the inhabitants have among them, a large ship was built near the place where there is now a spring of fine water. Lying between the Forest of Dean and the River Severn, Lydney can fairly be called an unprepossessing town. I do so affectionately, for I have known it for years. Its buildings straggle and sprawl unpretentiously. It lacks the picturesqueness for which Gloucestershire is better known. Very little you see today predates the 19th century, which racked Lydney with train tracks and industry. It does have a few civic ornaments, Bathurst Park, the Town Hall, the Cross, but it is a place mostly where people live, are schooled, work, grow old, pass on. A place that to the outsider would not seem to have much magic. For a while I thought it had no magic either. Nor did I think it had much to do with the sea. Lydney Harbour, for it does possess one, lies at a strange remove from the town proper, as though it were straining for a maritime presence. It is the result of a comparatively recent 19th century scheme in which the River Lyd was canalised and trammelled down to the Severn. When thriving, it was an artery for the minerals mined from the Dean and sent abroad. I knew it only as a place of truants, mossy quays, stagnant water. But in fact Lydney has richer, more occluded maritime pedigree than this. I walked towards the church through a Lydney I have known all my life, a place in which I was raised, confirmed and schooled, a place I later sought to leave, and still later shyly revisited. Mostly my recollections of those years are shapeless, but the ensemble of the road, the school, and the church vividly uncork all their navigations and humiliations. But I refocus on the spire, and come up to the churchyard, looking for the scene of a shipbuilding. I navigate too by Samuel Rudder, aptly named Gloucestershire antiquarian, who walked here 300 years before me, himself navigating in turn by even older voices. In compiling his History of Gloucestershire, published in 1779, he heard that, from a tradition which the inhabitants have among them, the tide of the Severn in its usual course formerly came up to a bank of earth called the Turret, just without the churchyard. Now the churchyard edges an asphalt crossroads, beyond which the land falls gently into an industrial estate, where once, according to Rudder's informants, a large ship was built. Now, as then, the suggestion seems unreal. Weekday morning doldrums. Hush hanging over the low warehouses behind steel fences. A mild breeze reaches the crossroads from the estuary, carrying whiffs of turbid water and alluvium, spectral suggestions of the Severn's former presence here. For it was here, somewhere here, that the river once appeared when in spate, and there, over the crossroads and down the shelving road, where that large ship must have been built. It's not an exact piece of triangulation, for the overlain mesh of rails and roads have made the underlying topography quite hard to read. Then I halt upon the threshold of an industrial unit. Within are orderly rows of shipping containers, stencilled with the runes of modern freight. Shortly after this mysterious vessel was built, the Severn heaved its great body further east, and left Lydney landlocked. Perhaps this is why, barely a century later, the site of her construction had been lost to memory. To Rudder, the townsfolk of Lydney could relate only imprecise details, but the next century yielded a tantalizing clue. During the building of a new railway line to link the town with its now faraway harbour, the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?